What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 140, and we start today's episode off by looking at our calendar. We have got 3 games against Manchester City in the space of a week. Of course, 2 of those games are the Europa League round of 16 legs against City, of course, and then sandwiched in between those games, we have got the FA Cup quarter-final against Manchester City. So 3 big games in 2 tournaments, and to be honest, these games could really be big deciders for, whether myself or if it's Pellegrini still in charge of City, myself or Pellegrini are going to stay in the job for next year at our clubs, because Manchester City are sitting in 3rd, we're sitting in 4th. Neither of us are going to win the league. It's going to be either Chelsea or Manchester United, and to be honest, these 2 trophies are basically our only chance of silverware this year, and one of these sides could be getting knocked out of both competitions dependent on results. So the stakes could not be higher for both managers here and for both teams, of course. So it's going to be a very, very, very interesting week. We could basically be out of the job in a week's time depending on how these results go. So the stakes could not be higher, and that's why I wanted to get off to a very good start in the first game here at White Hart Lane in the Europa League round of 16, first leg. And the first chance will come in the 18th minute. Danny Rose swings it across down the left hand side, and Mandanda, the French goalkeeper, has an absolute nightmare and gifts us a goal. Danny Rose is claiming it, God only knows why, but it's a goal for Spurs here, and it's Mandanda, I'm afraid, the French goalkeeper. He's not going to be getting in my national team with goalkeeping like that. It's Mandanda who makes a really, really, really big howler there. He goes to punch the ball away. He completely misjudges the flight. It goes over his gloves, and it's bundled in by Connor Wickham in the centre. Well, a mixture of Wickham and also Rakik, I think it is. So I'm not sure whether it was an own goal or a Wickham goal, but even so, it certainly wasn't a Danny Rose goal, despite the game crediting it to him. So a big mistake by Mandanda, that's all you need to know. And Manchester City were behind, so poor start for them in this game. Nothing else happened in the first half, and in the second half, City had a couple of good chances, but they gave the ball away. Wickham placed the ball over the top towards Ross Barkley here. Barkley beats Micah Richards for pace down the left-hand side. He stops the ball, gets onto his right foot, swings it across. It's Wickham with the bicycle kick, but it goes wide of the post harmlessly. So still Spurs 1, Manchester City 0. But we were threatening him quite well, and to be honest, we did look like we would be able to get a second goal. And in the 59th minute, Danny Rose picks the ball up and finds Connor Wickham, who backheels it to Tom Carroll. He fake shots around Rakik, goes down the right-hand side. His chip shot is well saved, and the shot by Nathaniel Klein is blocked and put out for a corner. So we almost scored a lovely little move there. We almost scored after wrapping up a lovely little move there. But from the corner, it's crossed in, and it's Dawson's header, which goes just wide of the post. So still Spurs 1, Manchester City 0. But to be honest, City weren't really threatening, and in the 74th minute, Connor Wickham gets on the ball, rolls it through to Nelson Oliveira. He's running clear, he's 1-on-1 with Mandanda. I poked the ball underneath him, it was just going to go wide of the post, and the referee, of course, gives a penalty because Mandanda did indeed trip him up. I'm sure if it was on target, he would have played advantage and let the ball just trickle over the line, but as it was going wide, the referee pulls up for a penalty, books Mandanda, who was just having an absolute horror show in this game, and it is a penalty to us here. So what a chance to seal the first leg from the penalty spot. Of course, it would be Nelson Oliveira who would stand up to take it there after Mandanda brought him down. So a very, very big chance for Nelson Oliveira to get the goal with 13 minutes on the clock. He takes on Mandanda, who of course conceded the penalty. He was already at fault for 1 goal. Would Nelson Oliveira make this a miserable night for Mandanda? He steps up, sends him the wrong way, and blasts it into the top corner. What a strike that is by the Portuguese forward there. Really, really good finish. Sends Mandanda the wrong way. My penalty record isn't the best, I do know that. Nelson Oliveira did miss a penalty in the last round against Porto, but that was certainly one way to hit it. Absolutely smashing effort, sends the keeper the wrong way, and if he went the right way, he never would have saved that, right into the top corner. Spurs 2, Manchester City 0, and out of 3 games, the first of which looked like it was going to be ours to win. So Nelson Oliveira gets the goal, and I was very, very pleased indeed that would possibly seal the first leg of this game. But in the seal the first leg of the tie, but in the 83rd minute, Lloris gets onto the ball here and chips it forward towards the run of Ross Barkley. It's a lovely little first touch and a great fake shot to get around Micah Richards. Finds Nelson Oliveira. He finds Bentaleb. It's Bentaleb here. He rolls it back to Ross Barkley. Barkley keeps hold of the ball, stops it. Side heels it to Nelson Oliveira. Fake shots before crossing the ball in, and Bentaleb wraps off a superb Spurs performance with a great header, and Bentaleb makes it 3-0. So Bentaleb doesn't get in the side that much. I'm not Tim Sherwood. He doesn't get in the side that much, and but when he does get in the side, he does play quite well. So even though he's a very rare starter for for us. He's a 79 overall player. Even if he is a resi, I've got no plans to sell him because he's a very decent midfielder. We had him on loan at Millwall, of course, in our second season, so I've got no plans to sell Ben today, but I do like him, and that was a very decent header and a very nice Spurs goal as well. So a nice team goal, 3-0 to Spurs, and Manchester City are already looking like they are going to be out of the Europa League. And in the 90th minute, the last chance would fall to Manchester City as they had a free kick. The Wall moved forward, and after the man had a layoff runner, the referee went and booked one of our players. But a free kick to City, it was going to be Eric Dier, one of our former Millwall players, that would strike it, and he almost scored an absolutely superb goal. So Lloris makes a fabulous save, and thank God he did as well, because just one away goal for City would make this game a lot more tense going into the second leg. You know, keeping a clean sheet would basically see us through already, but if City scored just one away goal, it would make things a lot more difficult. And from the corner, the header comes in. I think it was Eric Dier again, but it just went wide of Lloris's post. So still Spurs 3, City 0, and it did actually take a deflection, so another corner for City. It was crossed in, and the header was cleared away, and it fell to Thiago on the edge of the box. It went straight into the gloves of Hugo Lloris, who boots the ball forward, and the referee doesn't blow full time, but he does as Nelson Oliveira controls it, and there is the full time whistle. So Spurs 3, Manchester City 0, and we take a huge lead going into the game at the Etihad. Maybe not as big as the lead we had against Porto when we were 5-0 up, but to be honest, keeping a clean sheet and winning by 3-0, I really can't see Manchester City coming back. So basically that is a big win for us, and that really does give us the motivation and determination we need to go and make it 2 wins out of 2 in these 3 big games against City. Of course, this one was on the weekend in the FA Cup quarter-final. So this is another big game for both clubs, of course, and City, who are already facing elimination from the Europa League, they would not want to lose this game as well, because as I said, they would be out of any trophy chance they would have come the end of the season. So we really wanted to win it, of course. City would be desperate to win it. They'd be a lot more desperate than we are, but of course Daniel Levy wants us to win this competition and win the Europa League as well and qualify for the top 4. So we really do need to keep the pressure on, and we really do need to keep winning these games and advancing as far as possible. So we take on Manchester City, who did change a few players for this side, but even so, you look at their squad and you think, wow, that is a very decent side. Not as strong as it could have been, but still quite decent. But the first chance will come to City after I gave the ball away. Guidetti ran clear, but a great save by Lloris, and then the shot was blocked and eventually cleared away by Cher. So Manchester City almost taken the lead. But in the 23rd minute, Danny Welbeck gets on the ball for us, plays a lovely little 1-2 with Daniel Sturridge. It's Welbeck down the left-hand side. Really good chance, keeps on going, gets past Vincent Kompany, crosses the ball in, it's up in the air, it comes to Brian Carrasco. Carrasco stops the ball, gets past his man with a nice piece of skill, got a little bit lucky, but the Berber spin sees him get some space, crosses the ball in, and Sturridge's header hits the bar. We couldn't force it over the line, and unfortunately as Carrasco's shot is blocked, we just couldn't find the breakthrough. So still City 0, Spurs 0, and from this cross, Draxler's header is simply saved by Anthony Lopez. So still City 0, Spurs 0, 28 minutes on the clock, but some good chances for either side. In the 41st minute, Chalobah wins the ball here, plays it through to Sturridge. He finds Danny Welbeck, nice piece of skill, keeps on running, spots the runner Sturridge, plays him through. He's offside, so we leave the ball. Carrasco's got the pace to run onto it, swings in across. It's Welbeck with the header, but Anthony Lopez makes a great save. And it looked as though Wabara pulled down Welbeck there as he was going to go for the rebound, but no penalty given, and still 0-0 here. So still 0-0 going into the second half. Sturridge picks the ball up here and finds Fernando. Fernando rolls it back to Danny Sturridge, takes on Subotic here, beats him with the Berber spin, tries to finesse it into the far corner, but it just goes wide, and it's still 0-0. So there was so much pressure by both sides, mostly us really. We were on top. The City, you couldn't rule them out, and in the 82nd minute here, Gutierrez makes a great sliding challenge, and so does Fabian Cher. We get the ball away, and it's still 0-0. It looked as though the game was going to finish 0-0, and we would have a replay at White Hart Lane, but you see the ball come to Julian Draxler here. He gets past Kompany with the fake shot. He then beats Wabara with the body feint, and he drills the ball into the bottom corner, and finally Julian Draxler has done something since arriving for £15 million. Now, I've been avoiding it ever since he signed, but to be honest, Draxler coming in, you know, and selling Holtby probably hasn't really worked out for us very well, because ever since we sold Holtby, we haven't really been performing very well, and Draxler has only had 1 assist to his name in all the games he's played, so he hasn't really been performing. But I'll tell you what, that was an absolutely superb finish by Draxler. That definitely makes up for all the underperformances he's put in since coming in. He has been poor, there's no doubt about it, but that makes up for it all. Superb solo goal by Draxler, and that is going to seal the game and possibly put us through to the FA Cup semi-final. So great goal by Draxler. He silences the critics, aka me, and scores the goal to make it City 0, Spurs 1. With the 89th minute, Milner goes down the right hand side here. He keeps on going, rolls the ball into Musa, but it's a superb challenge by Gutierrez and he keeps the score at City 0, Spurs won, and from the corner James Milner crosses the ball into the centre towards Kompany's head, and it just goes wide of the post. So the City skipper was agonisingly close to sending the game to a replay, but he didn't. We hold on, we win the game, and we are through to Wembley for the FA Cup semi-finals to take on Arsenal. So the stakes couldn't be higher, but we have matched them, and it looks as though we are going to be going through in both of the competitions, and City look like they are going to be facing elimination from the Europa League in the next game, and of course they have been eliminated here. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode tomorrow morning.